Hi everybody, happy Monday. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of fraction work. And this week we are going to be working with fractions on a number line. So we've worked a little bit with fractions before. You have been sorting fractions into whether they're closer to 0, 1/2, or 1. And we've looked at fractions in like a pie chart, and we've looked at fraction bars, but this time we're going to be looking at fractions on a number line. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to go over a few pages with you, and I'm going to have you do some work in this packet. So turn to your first page, and this is just developing some fraction understanding, some understanding of the number lines. So when you're looking at a number line, and you have 0 on one end and 1 on the other end, you're looking at one whole. So this, from the 0 to the 1, is a whole. And then your fractions are the pieces of the whole, because a fraction is a part of a whole. So what we're going to be doing is really breaking this down and understanding what it means to break this number line up into pieces. So for right now, ignore all of these things down below and let's count out our pieces. So if we start at 0, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces total. Okay, so if I'm talking about the whole thing, I'm talking about 1 or 6, 6. Because remember, anytime our numerator and our denominator are the same, they equal one whole. Okay, so however many pieces I divide it into is going to be our denominator, the number on the bottom, because our denominator tells us how many pieces there are total. Okay, and then each piece we're going to be counting. So right here, this would be 1/6 from here to here. This would be 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and then one whole, which is also 6/6. So really the lesson is that your denominator will be the same because it's going to tell you how many pieces there are in that number line. All right, so as we look at the next one, I have my 1, I have my 0, so I know this is my whole, and I have a third here. But what I'm going to do again is I'm going to start at my 0 and I'm going to count my pieces. So from 0 to here is 1, 2, 3. So I know that my whole is divided into thirds. So 3 is going to be my denominator. So this would be 1/3 and this would be 2/3. Okay. So that means from here to here is 1/3. If I was talking about from here to here, that would be 2/3. Each one of these sections is a third. So 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 would equal 3/3, and that's one whole. Okay, so I'm going to have you go ahead and complete these two. First, count how many pieces it's divided into. Remember, start at your 0 and count 1, 2, 3, 4. And because there are 4, I know it's divided into fourths. There are 4 sections. And then put in your numerators and denominators. And then how do you know which number belongs in the numerator? That's the number on top. And how do you know what numbers belong in the denominator? All right. A really important thing about this is when we are breaking it up into its pieces, if I'm breaking this up into thirds, I have to break it up into equal pieces. So you can see that each of these are equal. My 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. Okay? All right, so I want you to do that page, and then I want you to do this next page as well. It's the exact same concept. It asks you to cut out the fractions at the bottom and to glue them on. You do not need to do that. That's not important to me that you do that. What is important to me is that you know what to label here. Okay, so you can just put in what the fraction is. So if I'm looking at this whole from 0 to 1, this is the whole thing. How many pieces is it divided into? I'm going to start here. It's divided into 1 piece, 2 pieces. So that means my denominator I know is going to be a 2. And then this would be 1/2, and this would be 2/2. 2/2 equals a whole. Remember, anytime my numerator and my denominator are the same, they equal 1. Okay, so that's all I want you to do. I want you to label what each of the sections are. So you're going to count how many sections it's divided into. That will be your denominator, and then label each piece. Okay, that is it for this week in your fractions on a number line packet. You can bring these back to school. I'm going to check off that you did those 2 pages, and then I'll just send it back with you. Okay, have a great Monday.